Howdy. Oh, hang on. Welcome to Cryptid Caravans. We're hauling new monsters all the time. Today we wander into the mountains, take a look at a mountain monster, the Ozark Howler, or the Black Howler, or the Devil Cat. It goes by a lot of different names.
The Ozark Mountain Range runs from central Missouri to northern Arkansas and stretches out to Oklahoma.
Some folk claim the Ozark Howler's been stalking those mountains since the mid-1800s. But the details of those accounts have been lost to the generations. Even the description of the beast isn't agreed upon.
Some say it's just an extra large mountain lion with shaggy black fur. Others claim it's much more monstrous. A large bear-like beast with goat horns and glowing eyes.
Of course, they call it the Ozark Howler for a reason. More people claim to hear its blood-chilling roar than actually seen the thing. Of course, even here, there's no general consensus on what it sounds like. Does it sound more like a hyena laugh? Or does it sound more like an unholy mix of an elk's call and a wolf howl? I hear either of those noises. I'm booking it in the other direction.
The first noted sighting was in the 80s. A trucker had pulled off the side of the road to rest for the night. As he settled in, he recalled seeing a large, shaggy creature outside his windshield, though it was described more as a large goat than a large cat.
Honestly, no one can agree on what this thing looks like.
During the late 90s, howler sightings started to pick up. In 98, a Fred Sprout was returning to his car after a long day of deer hunting with a friend in the woods around Branson, Missouri. As they came down a hillside, they witnessed a large black beast drinking from a small stream at the bottom. They stood there, observing it.
You just got done hunting. You have a gun. Shoot it.
There was a notable smell of burnt onions wafting off the beast. After wetting its whistle, the monster crossed the stream and disappeared over the other side of the hill. In 97, a George Triangle was leaving a New Year's party a little intoxicated.
Okay, a lot intoxicated according to most accounts.
While driving around a sharp curve, a large creature darted in front of Triangle's car. It was described as a black bear with a long tail. Around the mid-2000s, a family in Crawford County, towards the western side of the Ozarks, set up a trail camera to catch a glimpse at a cougar they thought were stalking their property. The residents of Dardanelle reported hearing hyena barks and seeing stocky mountain cats around the same time period. Just 2 years ago, some pictures of the Ozark Howler were sent to Arkansas's Forwarded 29 News.
Always on your side.
The viewer who sent them in spotted the creature at the Devil's Den and claimed that they weren't Photoshopped.
I'm no expert in Photoshop, but who's to say they didn't just tape horns to a dog? Bring that picture back up real quick. Huh. Kinda looks like that Pokemon.
And last year, there was a claimed sighting on Pump Station Road in Arkansas. The howler even got featured on the short-lived Haunted Highway.
Now here's where we throw a monkey wrench in the whole operation. See, the Ozark Howler may well be just one elaborate hoax, at least in partial.
I mentioned how sightings boomed in the 90s. Well, that's because that's when a college student created the myth of the Ozark Howler.
This story comes from Cryptomundo's Lauren Coleman. I'll link the article below. It's quite a read.
A man identified only as John Cook had contacted Coleman, who was writing a book on cryptozoology at the time, about adding the Ozark Howler to his writings. Well, something smelled fishy to Coleman and other researchers of the time. He was able to track down this Mr. Cook, who pleaded guilty of hoaxing it. The article claimed Fred Sprout and George Triangle were just one of a few aliases created to spread stories of this Ozark Howler. Cook spent months creating several websites and emails to create credibility and sell the con.
That's why accounts of the Ozark Howler from the 1800s are only vaguely mentioned. They didn't exist yet until Cook invented them. When asked why he did it, Cook replied,
he bet some fellow skeptics in an online chat room he could create a new cryptid and convince the cryptid community it was a real beast.
Shits and giggles. He did it for shits and giggles.
The name Cook created for his lead expert on the Ozark Howler lore? Professor It's a Joke.
Now, Mr. Coleman is a respectable fella,
but the fact no one after all these years has claimed credit for such a great hoax.
I'd own up to that in a heartbeat. So with 80% of the Ozark Howler mythos being nothing more than a hoax, what does that leave us?
I'm inclined to believe the folks reporting howler sightings in the mid-2000s weren't part of Mr. Cook's ploy.
Unless he's playing the long game.
And most of those 21st century sightings were of large cougar-like cats, not horned devil bears. Is it possible there's an unknown population of mountain lions in the Ozark Mountains?
According to Arkansas's Department of Wildlife, there's not a large enough breeding population of cougars to maintain a presence. And I know about breeding cougars.
Though some Ozark inhabitants disagree. Some even wonder if they're saber-toothed tigers that survived extinction.
Mysterious mountain lion or hardcore hoax? If the Ozark Howler really did only come into being around the 90s, now he's a youngin' among the creature community. Well, I've given you the history. You decide for yourself.